Growing up in the closet was a completely different experience for me, and I had been wanting to have a discussion about what it is like dating as a bisexual black man and how it was never easy, especially growing up. It was always it was difficult to say the least, and I just want to talk about that today, so that's what we will be discussing. I have talked about dating on this channel a plethora of times, multiple times actually, and I have no issues with dating. I like dating, and it's always been really fun. I always try to find the joy and pleasure out of it, but I haven't been on a lot of dates. Some of them haven't really been serious. Some of them, they even didn't consider it a date. They just considered us hanging out. And I thought that it would lead on to something that would be, a relationship, and it didn't. And that's happened a lot. And ever since I came out as bi, I thought that it would get a little bit easier in the dating scene, but it actually got 10 times harder, unfortunately. Now, let me start off from the beginning, because from the start, it wasn't easy at all, and leading on to now, it still isn't easy, which is the sad part. But yeah, I had once before told myself that I was gonna come out, and then I did, and then I said that I only wanted to do this because I didn't want people, I don't care about people judging me. I've never been the type of person to give a shit about if people judge me or not, but I told myself that I still wanted to do this regardless, for myself, for my friends, for my family. It felt like I was living in a big lie, in a big secret, and I told myself, no more, I don't want to do that. And I didn't want my family and friends to be like, dang, what the heck is going on? Like, he just started dating a dude. And then I didn't want them to be confused with my sexuality, because I rep bisexualness hard and I'm always avid in talking about it, especially on social media. So I didn't want to deal with that any longer, so I ended up coming out because I knew that I wanted to date men and women. I had already dated multiple women, had multiple girlfriends, and it's never like I was confused. It was just more I was afraid of not knowing what I really was and not what I wanted. And at the end of the day, sexuality is still a spectrum, and I want to reiterate that a lot to people, that sexuality is a spectrum. It's okay to be straight and still kind of have feelings or other things about the same sex, because a lot of people, they get it confused and they get all flustered. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't really matter who you love, who you like, who you find attractive, because that's you. We're all human. It happens. But we grow up and live in a society and in a world that it really affects other people, and I never really understood that. But that's besides the fact. That's a conversation for a whole nother day. I had dated multiple women, and I was like, I want to start dating men. Not that I won't stop dating women. And I started dating men, and it's a whole different vibe for sure. Again, this is from personal experience. Do not take what I say and try to misconstrue the things that I speak, because that happens quite often on the internet. This is more or less a conversation with someone that is willing to understand and see the side of things that I have seen. I found it really easy to date men compared to women. Now, before you're like, hold on. What I mean by that is there were many times that men just didn't have any standards. And there were times where I would try to date men, or when I'm trying to date men, and all they want to do is fuck. And I don't really, and I mean, it's both sides, but from my personal experiences, all men want is dick. And that kind of hurts. And there's a lot of other stuff that goes on top of being a bisexual black man dating besides that. But I have got plenty of times where people have asked me my penis size. They have asked me if I'm good in bed, because they say most black men are good in bed. Most black men have big dicks. And I've been stereotyped. Regardless of where I go, it'll be on Tinder, it'll be on Hinge, and I've deleted a lot of my dating apps because it's just hard. It's very hard, and it's hard on multiple sides. It's not just when I'm trying to date men. Like, even when I date women, I've had instances where when I date women, they think that because I'm bisexual, that since I'm attracted to men, that I'm going to cheat on them with men. And that's not how that works. We need to stop this thinking of men that are bisexual being cheaters, because that's not true. A cheater is just a cheater. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. I don't understand why people think that way. Like, if you cheat, you cheat. It doesn't matter if you're bisexual, straight, if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. And I've never cheated on anyone in my life ever. I've been cheated on multiple times, but I've never cheated on someone. So for people to think that immediately, and it's bad because I have to immediately tell people when I'm dating them my sexuality, because a lot of times they don't know. They assume that I'm either straight or they assume that I'm gay, and I'm like, no. I've had a lot of people decide not to date me because of that, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. This whole scene is just weird. It's very weird. I've had women tell me they won't date me because I'm bisexual because they think I'll cheat on them with a man, especially if they're a straight woman. It's mostly straight women. It's never bisexual women, because again, they should, most of them understand that in the first place. They won't, it's usually when I'm dating a straight woman, they won't date me if I'm bisexual. And it's only most of the time because of that reason. Or they think I have multiple sex partners. And then I always tell people ahead of time, no, I'm not sexing just everybody that comes my way. I know that there are people out there that are like that, and I'm not judging them if they want to do that, but don't try and put us all in a bubble and say that we're all the same, because we're not. I am loyal. I've always been loyal. I'm faithful. There's a lot of us bisexuals that are super faithful, actually, but there's this stigma, and biphobia is one of the worst things that's out there now, because you can be biphobic and still be a part of the LGBT community. That's another thing that mind boggles me, is that there's a lot of biphobia in the LGBT community. And that's why I hate to put myself in that category. I will rep it all day, every day, but I hate to put myself in that category because of that shit. Like, nigga, no, please. I just want to be able to live life and date who I want without any judgments. That's the main thing. That's the main reason that a lot of us, especially bisexual men, we try to reiterate that to our partners, because at the end of the day, we're gonna fall in love with who we want to fall in love with, whether it's a woman or a man. And you shouldn't misconstrue things. Like, don't say just because he wants to date a man that he's now gay. No, he's still, like, I'm still bisexual. If I end up dating whoever I date, I'm still bisexual at the end of the day. If I marry a woman when I grow up older, I'll marry a woman. If I marry a man, I'll marry a man, but I'm still going to be bisexual. That does not change, especially when dating. And it's sad. I've been on multiple dating apps where it's been full-on harassment. People have matched with me saying that they wanted to be with me, and then they end up just ghosting me, or they're like, as soon as they find out that I'm bisexual, they're like, oh, no, this isn't gonna work. When I first started dating men, I noticed that every time that I was dating them, it would be almost like they knew things that would like hurt me, if that makes sense. They knew, because I was hurt more dating men than I was dating women. But then I've never been cheated on by a man, because I've never actually been with a man full length. I've only had full-on relationships with women. Most of the women that I have dated, I cheated on me, and I'm not saying that all women are cheaters, because they're not. So why say that about bisexual men? Because I've seen a lot of straight women be biphobic. Again, at the end of the day, it's a spectrum, so you should be able to date whoever you want, free of judgment. And that's when it comes down to communication. Nobody knows how to communicate anymore nowadays. It's terrifying. It's very scary. And if you feel some type of way from the jump, you should say something right away instead of just keeping it inside and holding it in, because that's that shit. That's scary when somebody holds something in for a long period of time and then just randomly decides to say something about it. Because if you weren't okay with me being bisexual, you should have been said something. Okay? That's just another thing on top of everything else. I think it would just be easier if everyone understood that people are going to date who they want to date. Cheaters are just cheaters. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Stop being racist. There's subtle racism in dating a person of color, unless you're not dating another person of color. And you know exactly who I'm talking to right now. So just try to, not do that, especially on dating apps. That's internalized trauma that you're putting on people like me and others that are like me, because don't do that. Don't do that. It's that easy. If you know that, because you're gonna like who you want to like at the end of the day, you're gonna date whoever you want to date at the end of the day, but that doesn't mean that you have to blatantly put out these standards that you want. I've had people be like, I don't date black men, I don't date bisexual black men, I've never dated a black boy before, is it true that you're is big? Like, Y'all are doing too much and I'm gonna need it to stop. But I know that one day I will find a partner that will love me for me, like me for me. Hopefully I can show them this side of my world and they will understand. That's something else that I've been wanting to manifest and be more serious about. I've come to a point in my life where I really do love myself. I truly do love myself. I talk to God about it a lot. I talk to the universe about it a lot. And I want to manifest a relationship. I want to manifest a partner that really loves me for me. And I know that the only way that I can do that is if I just stay focused and not worry about it. That's why I took myself off of these dating apps, because they were becoming too fucking much. And I was done. I was over it. And I hope that going on in the future, as a bisexual black man, that things will become a little bit easier. And I know that right now it has to be hard because of how the world is and how people think. But there's a lot of people that are changing. And if I can change anyone's thought process in any way, I will. And that's why I mostly make these type of videos, is because I hope that I can reach to someone. If I can change one person's mind, they can change another, and so on and so forth. So just treat bisexual black men right. There's plenty of us out here that are very loyal, good loving people that just want a partner that will love us for us. And I hope that one day that will happen for me. But in the meantime, I will continue to keep loving myself, as you should. And I hope that things are easy for you if you are bisexual and dating in this weird world that we live in. Lord have mercy. I'm glad I got that off my chest. If you would like to, please subscribe to this channel. I post new videos every week. I'm really trying to grow on here and do this full time, as many of you know. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. You can click this face over there to subscribe, and then on the other side is a video that YouTube would recommend that you enjoyed. So I will see you guys over there. Bye.